Yeah, I know. You think I might be embellishing with the title, but really, if you can't handle this, don't bring your ASS to Japan. Because I would say 90% of things are, sweet and you won't have a problem with. But if you're gonna deal with this, you're gonna have some serious identity issues and struggle with a lot of things. And I'm not just rage baiting here, man. I was seriously pissed about this shit happening to me. And I sat on this story for like a good month and a half, maybe 2 months now. But no, this shit happened, and I was peeved to all hell because, you know, look up, my people that like me or people's history coming from America. You know, we don't take too kindly to issues like this. But anyways, enough babbling on you. I better launch you anyways. But we'll start with the story. I was, on my way home and, riding my bicycle. And this is the second time this happened in the city I'm living in Annan here in Tokushima in West Japan. But, you would think, after the first time the police would know, put you on the registry or something like that. They're safe. And I actually work in a company that, is pretty well known with connections and stuff. And you should know that, this one's off limits or something like that, you know what I'm saying? But nope. Whether it's some fresh fishes, because I haven't seen these two ignorant asses around, but whatever. Everybody's got to get their stripes. They're doing it to get numbers and ticket and whatnot. But it always seems to happen when I'm getting off work. Because that's what they caught me lacking last time. And when I'm, after working a long shift, 8, 9, 10 hours, I'm tired. I'm not there. I'm not present. I just want to get home, get to my relaxation and chill the fuck out and actually make videos like this and shit, which is a part of my relaxation process. But yeah, so I'm riding home. I see out of the corner of my eye the popo, and I'm like, okay, there's a guy right in the street. I'm actually right on the sidewalk, where I theoretically supposed to be, even though you can be. There's a very small bike lane. He's riding in that, so I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna pull his over, but again, me was like, nah, bro, they coming for your black ass. And I'm like, like, give them the benefit of the doubt, because this hasn't happened in a while. I haven't been stopped. And sure as, the sun rises every day, they pull in ahead of me in a kind of speed turn, because they're like, oh, we gotta get this, we gotta make sure we get him. He can't let him escape, nah, and I'm like, damn, I know I shouldn't have stopped. Why the fuck am I stopping? I'm just like, in complacency mode. Just living here, it takes you to a place where you get into the feng shui of things and the natural ebb and flow, and you're just like you're good with acting, behaving, conforming to the Japanese culture. You assimilate to a certain degree, especially if you've been here. I've been here like basically like 10 years on my second try, but they pull over and I'm just like, oh, here we go with this bullshit. So get out. And this is a common thing. It happened to me a couple times when I was living in the Tokyo area, where they stop and ID you. I'm just like, bro, like what the f, bro? Like, okay, it's like, and it's always under some false pretenses. So if you're gonna do it, just come out and just do it. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. I said I come from America, and the way you get done. Profiling, it's just profiling. They don't make they make ifs, ands, buts about it, but it's a lot more uncouth, and they really don't care because they know that that we know that it's about, But here they it's the Japanese customer service. They gotta misdirect it and really be subtle and polite with it, and the more polite it is, it pisses you the fuck off. You know what I'm saying? But stop being two officers approach and okay, well, we don't ask you about your bike. Bitch, I know you don't want to ask me about my motherfucking bike, man. Ain't no goddamn issue. Cause I offered to actually take the niggas to the damn shop where I bought the bike up the street. because they do have an issue here with people, stealing bikes and whatnot. It's mine. I can show you the papers, identification. I can take you up to the street where I bought the motherfucking. They can verify to you that I bought the fucking bike that I'm riding on right now. I feel like this on this bitch. You know what I'm saying? But no. That's too good. That's too good for y'all. What they want to do is embarrass you. Is make you feel their authority, feel the weight of the badge they carrying around. So they both start in both asking alternating questions, and it's just like like if the rookie and he's like, who do I answer to? But it's like I'm dealing with the one who's there's a bigger dude who's actually being more aggressive. I'm like, man, I got time for your little bitch ass. I'll talk to the dude who's being more who's more calm, who actually is in control. And it's true to the anime trope. This dude's Nappa and this dude's Vegeta, and you should be scared of the small dude. I ain't scared of nobody. I'm just tired or whatever. But they ask for ID, and I'm like, man. And you're legally you're supposed to be carrying it on you at all times. That's not the issue. Because if you actually ask me to schedule an appointment, all right, so you don't have your we need to card you, so bring it down to the station at such and such date. Within a week, you got that. Cool. You want to get all the local foreigners on the registry or whatever. Might be dubious. Might be a little bit skirting the ethics. But that's your right. This is your country, right? I'm just a visitor. I'm just living here. Under the graces of which is we'll get to that later. The mindset, mentality that imbues people with having that kind of mentality towards the people that living who are foreigners living within your country, within your jurisdiction, out in the countryside as well. And just like nah. So the way you approach what about this stuff, and then here comes the threats. Like, okay, well I have the right to throw you in jail. I'm at this point I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I have like I said just done a 10-hour shift. It's Friday. You already pissed me the fuck off about this so I offer. Go ahead. Take me in. I don't give a fuck at this point because you wasted my motherfucking time by stopping me when I'm a law-abiding citizen. I've never been charged with a crime. Doesn't mean okay, whatever. But I've never been arrested, never been in jail, in any country that I've lived in. The three, and visiting also the Philippines, whatever. But I've never had legal issues problem. I'm a law-abiding citizen. So you're gonna treat me like a criminal. Then you expect to get the attitude of a criminal. Or expect to get the attitude of an indignant citizen. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of treatment, that kind of harassment, this kind of harassment is for people who actually commit crimes, who actually, out here living that life and doing these kind of things. Like, I get it. Y'all bored, ain't got shit to do. But find some better shit to do with your time. Harass me ain't gonna be going up. I'm gonna stand for that shit. So, what I'm saying? Like, we going back and forth and, talking and just trying to, get my information, all that stuff. And then they ask you the question, like, okay, you like anime? Get the fuck out my face with these fucking disingenuous questions. Get to the fucking business. Like I said, take me to jail. You actually be saving me time. And I went to all these, different arguments and such because, pissing me off. Even got to some point that he was saying, like, the second cop was like, well, if you don't have your ID on you, if you were to die, just let me die then. That's your job. I told him straight up, that's your job to identify the body and all stuff. And I got it. He's like, well, you don't care about dying? Bruh, if I die, that's on me. Or whatever. Like, you deal with people who have to die. Well, some people might have to die, but who die all the time. That's your job. It's part of, you don't want to do it. Why the fuck you sign up in the first place? Like, it's just so, like, annoying. To be, like, make, like, it's, the nail that sticks out gets hammered down. The, insensitivity with some, stuff he was saying, like, just like, bro, like, you taking it here and then you threaten me with this in jail time. Like, bro, just make good on your threat. Because you ain't finna threaten me. Go ahead and do it. Take me to jail then. You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll save me a day, from going into work the next day. I ain't gotta go then. And like Johnny, like you want to treat me like Johnny Smollett? I haven't done anything close to an iota of what he's done. Like, it's insane. They expect me to be gracious and thank you, master, for letting me stay in your country. Nah, bro, this was dealing with what 400 years ago. I mean, something like that to modern day, but I ain't one of them. So don't come at me like that. You know what I'm saying? So like, it's just. It's an insane. Like, I mean, there's more things that happen, but just I was so pissed. I mean, so the interaction, like we leave and they don't take my ID and all this stuff and get my information. But it's kind of harassment, just power flexing, just because you can. Like, do you imagine, like, as you're ambassadors for your country, the kind of taste that leaves in the mouth of somebody who's living here, visiting. I no longer now feel safe, in the vicinity where I live in. Got to worry about being, stalked, patrolled by cops, and then, being threatened with consequences, being rained out upon you, for just going about your fucking day, man. Like, are you fucking kidding me? So, like, the ramifications, like I said, the fallout. Like, this is like 1 to 2% of your experience, but knowing that it can happen to you at any given time, anywhere. And like I said, like, I've already been through this in this area with cops, and then I go through it again. Like, for me, like, I'm a criminal. I'm a criminal. I've done something wrong. I've overstepped, some bounds, some legality, some issues, and I deserve to be thrown in prison from the way I'm being treated. Like, this is insane. That you would treat somebody like this when they haven't done a goddamn thing. Like, that just blows my mind. Like, that, not that you treat somebody like that, but you treat somebody like that, and then like, I was like, they were like, okay, well, have a good day, you know what I'm saying? Like, just know that next time, like, you have it, like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'm just saying whatever to get you to fuck out my face, because I'm royally pissed off. If I could swing on you motherfuckers, I would swing on you. Like, you know what I'm saying? The only reason I ain't gonna swing on you because you a cop. You know what I'm saying? If you the authority is all around here. But, they leave, I just slam my bike down. Bam! Because I'm fucking pissed off. And this is my property. And you already got me in the mindset. I'm not gonna act out of that. I'm not gonna have an end moment. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna have a Boondocks end moment. You know what I'm saying? But I am gonna release something, like, cause I just sat there for like 40 minutes, bro. Just on my phone, just like absent-minded, because I'm just thoroughly enraged about this stupid ass interaction I'm having with these dumbass, hick ass motherfucking cops. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, the ramifications, like, who would want to just stay here, make yourself party to this, leave yourself open to these vulnerabilities. If I ain't welcome, then bruh, say less. You ain't gotta tell me twice, 3 times, 4 times. You know what I'm saying? It had been like years since something like this had happened, but lo and behold, you know what I'm saying? And I asked, other people of a lighter complexion, has this happened to them? Nah. And just like, bro, you looking for, I'm sorry, I should have did what I did in Tokyo. I mean, that's a story time for another story, but for another time, but yeah. Oh, you want to treat me like a criminal? I will show out and behave like a criminal and embarrass you. I'm not a criminal, or like someone who's just being treated like a ruffian. But like I said, this doesn't weigh on them. But it's like, if you're gonna be like this with people, you gotta have like. And Japan is one people, one country. For the most part, they're homogenous. But know who you're dealing with, historical context. Like I said, my people, where I come from, because, locally, America, where, people were trafficked to and brought against their own will, set that aside because, we're in the thick of it now. There's no, going to set that back. But, like, the fact that we were property for other people, most Black Americans, it ain't gonna sit right with them being treated like this. because that's harkening back to days, going by when we weren't allowed to speak, weren't allowed to, the freedom to, go places. We were belonged to another human being. We were items like this iPhone that I'm, recording on, or this remote being a piece of property, and then like you be basically being told that you don't have no rights here. The equivalent of, hey boy, show me your papers. Nah, I just ain't never gonna sit right with me. You know what I'm saying? Like the time to do that was, to our ancestors, but the modern dudes living now, most people ain't gonna, I would say at worst, they're not gonna tolerate that kind of, chicanery. At best, they're gonna be, highly upset about it, perturbed, and then you gotta worry about, your legal status and all stuff, because they will throw you in jail, and I found out some things about the legal system, and I'm like, hey, if I had to go that route, I'd go that route, man. I ain't finna let nobody just, abuse me and then just walk away with it, and got me feeling like shit, you know what I'm saying? Because, ultimately, yeah, they just had the third, but I'm like, I ain't finna give you what you want. You ain't finna just steamroll me like that, man. I'm a human being with a will and with pride, and, yeah, it's, like I said, if I, just coming coming towards, someone with, malintent and with disingenuous nature about you, all this can be handled in goodwill. But the fact that you go about it this way just really, makes it stick in someone's craw. And then, like I said, the legality. You're obligated to do this. Like, it's in the statute. So you go and look. I get it. You're abroad. You got to carry some form of identification. But the precedence for this, like, if you're going to treat people like this, don't expect them to speak, positively about you. And yeah, people like, I mean, you already know who they is. You know who they are. And the people, I went to one section in the comments, and people like, well, just comply, just shut up and comply, just, let them, do their job and go about your day. You don't have 400 years of this kind of treatment, backing your, your experience, shaping, molding you. Because I mean, it's like down to the T, the psychosis of, the way, Black people are and were treated. It's like, it would drive you insane, if you didn't process it, And then, like, I get it. I'm outside the U.S. Actually, I mean, like, expect to get this treatment. You should be expected to get this treatment outside of, the U.S. But the fact that we get it at home, then also, elsewhere. And it's cool. If you're going to treat everybody like that, cool. But we all know it's not across that. Like, it's not like that across the board. And the fact like that is legal. It's just like, bro, well, it really just sours the taste in your mouth. And like, why would I subject myself to this? You know what I'm saying? Like, it brings about the phrase. It's like, no matter how well you do, and I speak the language and all that, you're still an N-word. You're still like, and people say, oh, that's coming from another culture, but bro, like, tell me how it's different. Please do. Please tell me how it's different. Like, and even if it's not different, I mean, yeah, black, brown, whatever. People don't like this treatment, man. That's across the board. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, the potential consequences. Like I said, you could go to, you can go to jail, if you don't, comply. But then, like, yeah, after that, like, just certain things just be ruined for you, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have no faith in, like, the legal, proceedings and the system and stuff like that. And if I'm going to be treated like that, then I might as well be guilty of what y'all excuse me of being. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to treat me like a motherfucking criminal, don't expect me to, engender any kind of, goodwill with you. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that punish everybody, but like law abiding and this and that and the third. Why should you want to, it's not, you're not going to feel incentivized. So basically in summation, I mean, this video is a mess, just kind of like my interaction was, but hey, yeah, just like say, don't stay where you're tolerated, go where you're appreciated. And look, I'm not asking for somebody to roll out the red carpet and treat me like a god because I got, a blue visa from, a country who got his comeuppance, thanks to us, but, at the cost of us at the same time. But, hey, look, I love anime, I love the food, love the culture, I love the language, and people, for the most part, I ain't got no problem with. But this is the kind of that really make you feel like this. Like, really makes you just like say, whatever, bro. Like, name me a person that wants to be like, wants to be treated like that. That wakes up and it's like I said, if I deserved it, if I was a down low, dirt bag out here, getting my jobs and robbing people, there's real cops out here to be prosecuted, and you're out here harassing me, when I ain't done a goddamn thing, when I ain't done shit. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah. And then being threatened. And so, man, I can't even sort out all the feelings. I mean, nobody's gonna make this far to the end of the video, but hey, man, like I said, if you're, you love Japan, love the culture and all this stuff, but you're not ready to potentially deal with this, don't come here. Don't come to Japan because you ain't got the complexion for protection. This shit could easily happen to you. Be warned.
Like, comment, share, and subscribe if you
Thanks for watching. Check me out at Cintron Anime, Cintron Life, or Cintron Laughs, or other social media.